Well, good morning everyone and happy National Woodlands Day. My name is Christian. I'm here with Big Jon.
Good morning.
We are super excited for today. Man, I've got to say it's so cool to be in the same spot that we were 1 year ago today on National Woodlands Day. And things look completely different.
Yeah, it's a touch warmer. It was very cold. It's cold today. It was very cold last year.
Yes.
But yeah, it's really been a big year. If you think back to sitting, we were sitting right over there. This area that has developed into the quad at the time was gravel and construction fencing and materials. The chapel was under construction. The trading post over here on Woodlands West wasn't even started yet. The ball field wasn't started. The gymnasium wasn't started. A lot has happened over the course of the last year. From National Woodlands Day last year through May, so just 6 months, our incredible construction team and our civil engineer, our architects, they worked so hard, but they were able to get this quad done, which this is such a special space. Watching this last year, it's kind of got like Central Park vibes, where the kids can just hang out and be kids. I love that. In fact, one of my very favorite parts of the summer, it was early in the summer. I came out of the West Trading Post. I'm walking up the walkway there, and there's 3 little boys, probably 9, 10 years old, laying out in the turf. And I looked at them and I was like, "Are you boys okay?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Are you bored?" They're like, "No." I was like, "What are you doing?" They're like, "Big Jon, we're cloud watching." And it was like it was so innocent,
Yeah.
I loved that. And that is one of the really special things about Woodlands West, is it just brings back kind of this innocence of childhood. This quad's a big part of that. Of course, the chapel came online. Seeing that, it's got the ability to seat 1,000 young people. So to see like hundreds and hundreds of young people in there worshiping Jesus, coming to know him, that was so special. The trading post coming online right before the summer happened. That thing is the coolest building on this entire property. It is a totally different vibe than anything we built before. And watching that was incredible. The ball field, a portion of the ball field was done. They were working on the gymnasium. So yeah, a lot has happened. Our team has worked so hard. God's people have given so generously. The Lord has been so kind and so faithful. It's been a really special year.
Yeah, that's great. It's cool to have been here and seen everything pop up like that. Looking around here, we've got some buildings up. We've got some construction going on. What can you tell us about what's happening right now?
Yeah, there is getting to summer 2025 was not the finish line. That was just a marker along the way. There's still a lot of stuff cooking right now. For the parents and kids that came to camp this summer, you might remember right out at the entrance of Woodlands West, there was just a big muddy spot this summer. But the vision of that was to build a parking lot. And that parking lot is now done. We've got a few finishing touches, but by and large, it's done. And the idea behind that is for those who came to West this past summer, you got to ride on the brand new Woodlands tram, which was really, really cool. But the idea behind that parking lot is really to create an experience, kind of that first impression for campers and parents as they roll onto this property, to be able to come right off of Old Blue Creek Road, right into a parking lot, have a central place in that parking lot where they can check in, drop their baggage, get onto the tram, ride the tram back to camp. That gives me an opportunity to connect with them. So that's super, super exciting. We'll drop them off here at camp, whether on East or West, and then pick the parents up, take them back to their car at the end. So that's almost done. The ball field, since the end of summer, we kind of operated this summer with a little postage stamp size ball field. The ball field is done. I cannot wait for the Woodlands West Carnival coming up this summer, with room to spread out and do all the things with the carnival games and the dunk tank and the Disney dance floor and all of those kinds of things. The gym that we're calling the barn is now done. I'm from Indiana, and so basketball is near and dear to my heart, but also kind of a thing in Indiana are like barn gyms where people will take old barns and retrofit them into like a little quarter or half court. So we thought, man, what if we could tap my Indiana roots and create a super epic barn gym? And again, it is really, really cool. We didn't get to use that at all this past summer. That's now done. The zip line is now done since the end of summer. So a lot of things are either just over the finish line, almost over the finish line. The west waterfront is nearly done. They'll be coming to install the west water slides. The blob is in, the beach is in, the diving board, the trapeze, all of those things are in. We're waiting on 1 or 2 more pieces before this summer. But the big thing cooking right now, we've got not 1, not 3, but 2 more cabins coming up here on Woodlands West, and that fires me up.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about that. This National Woodlands Day, what's going on? Is there a cause? Is there a goal?
Yeah. So when you think back to the early days of Woodlands, so Woodlands started in 1997, and within the first 6 or 8 years, God started kind of formulating a vision in my heart of someday building another camp. No idea what that looked like. I didn't know if one was going to be here and another was going to be in another state. And then over time, God started refining that vision just a little bit that, what if we had 2 camps on the same piece of property? So it's like the vision was there, but the how and when and where and all of those details were super murky until one day in 2016, fall of 2016, we got a call from our neighbors and they said, hey, we've got acreage on the west side of your property that we want to sell and we want to give you first dibs. So the Lord provided for us to purchase this acreage. It was about 25 acres, and that gave us a place. And then about 2017, 2018, God started really refining that vision, and he refined it into a very specific vision, that being to build the facilities and the programming needed to impact 25,000 people a year for Jesus, and to have all of that in place by 2025. So that vision kind of crystallized in my heart in 2017, 2018. We started articulating that to people, and that began this chain of events that has led us to today. If you think back, coming out of summer 2018, we tore down the old lodge. Some of the campers may remember the old dining hall. We tore down the old lodge, built the commons, we built the lodge, we built the West Bridge, started refining the waterfront, we started developing Woodlands West, all for the purpose of being able to impact 25,000 people a year for Jesus. And so this year was a big year because just a few weeks ago, we had with one of our retreats, we clipped over that 25,000 person mark this year, which is so extraordinary because, again, that vision came online in 2017, 2018. At that time, we were running 3,000 summer campers and maybe 8,000 or 10,000 retreat guests. So we weren't even halfway there. And so seeing what God has done over the course of 7 years and bringing that very specific vision to fruition is really, really extraordinary. These last 2 cabins are kind of the icing on the cake. They will get the Woodlands West capacity up to the same as what Woodlands East is, and that is that 300 camper a week mark. We feel like in a specific iteration of a specific program, we feel like that's our sweet spot where every camper feels known, every camper feels loved, and that's our goal. We didn't want to just make one big camp where kids kind of felt like a face in the crowd. We wanted to make multiple programs with traditional, extreme, freestyle, and our leadership development stuff, and then multiple iterations of each of those programs to where we could impact a lot of kids, but where it would stay at that manageable level where kids felt known and loved. So these last 2 cabins will get the West capacity up to 300. But I think big picture, the thing that excites me so much, the whole idea behind West was to create a camp for 8 to 11-year-old boys and girls. And to me, that is so significant because statistically, 83% of people that come to know Jesus do so between the ages of 4 and 14. With this whole side of the lake being geared for 8 to 11-year-olds, all summer long, we're getting to minister to kids who statistically are in that sweet spot of when most people that are gonna come to know Jesus come to know Jesus. So these 2 cabins open the door for 1,000 more 8 to 11-year-olds to attend Woodlands every summer, not just this next summer, but every summer in perpetuity, Lord willing, till Jesus comes back. 1,000 more 8 to 11-year-old boys and girls to attend Woodlands every summer, experience an unforgettable week, and hear about Jesus. So that's the cause behind today. And one of the really cool things behind today, just a week or two ago, a family that loves this place and believes so wholeheartedly in the mission approached me, and they said, man, we love the idea that God gave you this vision of building programs, facilities to be able to impact 25,000 people a year for Jesus by 2025. So they're like, we want to kind of keep on with that 25 theme. So they said, we're going to put up a matching grant for National Woodlands Day. They said, if you can raise, on National Woodlands Day, if you can raise $250,000 in a single day, we'll match it with another $250,000.
Wow.
So the cause is so compelling that we're getting to build these 2 cabins that are going to open up the door for 1,000 more 8 to 11-year-old boys and girls to attend Woodlands each summer, experience an unforgettable week, and hear about Jesus. But also kind of that extra motivating factor that every single dollar donated today, up to a total of $250,000, will be matched dollar for dollar. So Lord willing, today we could raise up to or even over a total of $500,000.
Man, that is so special. That is so exciting. I cannot wait for the day ahead. I know we've got some things planned. Is there any sneak peeks you can give us?
Yeah, so today is going to be so special. We've got several videos rolling out. We're going to be announcing some really exciting things. Okay. We've got 2 brand new programs hitting in summer 2026 that we're going to roll out today. And this is probably the question that I've been asked more than any other in the last several months. So many people have been like, Big Jon, what are the names of the new cabins? And so we're going to be rolling those out over the course of today. So I'm really excited to announce the names of the brand new cabins over the course of today, National Woodlands Day 2025.
Wow, that sounds, dare I say, unforgettable. We can't wait to get into it. We'll see you there.